to Lifestyle Buzz Today with Orlando. Fresh, innovative, entertaining talk about topics we are all in one way or another involved with. And now, here's your host, Orlando Burgos.
Well, hello, you beautiful people out there. Welcome to the Connection for Better Living, or the antidote for boring radio. And once again, Orly was on a disappearing list, but not to worry. I was out there doing something very, very important. I went to Acapulco, and I was at a function called Tianguis, which we're going to be describing a little bit better in the next segment. But it's amazing. It's amazing, considering the fact that Acapulco was basically destroyed 6 months ago. And I'm going to be telling you the story of what happened, for those of you who don't know. And today is it's amazing. What I was able to see is very inspiring, and I want to share it with you because it's amazing what people can do when they put their mind and will to it, and the love of country behind it. It's amazing. I'm saddened to see that things in the Middle East are not getting any better. But, we're not a political show. I just mention it because anything that affects our lifestyle, it's important for us to talk about. And that is the main thrust of our show, is lifestyle. Our lifestyle reasoning is that people should be able to do what they wish in the comfort of their own zone, and to have a good time by creating more for themselves than not. There's way too much negativity, too much complaining. People just don't want to move forward, and I think it's time that we make a little push. So, Michael, what do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that people need to slow down. People need to enjoy, realize that life is short and it's finite, and that we only get one trip around the sun here.
Yeah.
And, take your pleasures where they come, and, stop worrying about what other people are doing and just focus on your own happiness.
That's one of the things actually that I saw in Acapulco, is the fact that, and again, I want to be able to explain in the next segments as a story of what I saw, and why it happened and whatnot, and the fact that people are concentrating on bettering their position there, and not only Acapulco, but the entire Mexican population is migrating over there for vacations and whatnot, to keep the place vibrant, to restore that vibrancy that it always has. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about that, plus other news coming up pretty soon. We're growing. It's, Lifestyle Buzz got a great reception in my stay over there, and I'm going to be sharing the reason why. So we're growing, and the more we grow, the more opportunity that we have here to share with you something wonderful about our lifestyle and our world. We'll be right back. Let me tell you a little story. So sit back, relax, close your eyes, and listen to what I have to say for a little bit, okay? Wednesday, October 25th, Hurricane Otis made landfall near Acapulco, the Mexico's southern Pacific coast, at 1:25 in the morning. What a way to wake up. It rapidly built into a sustainable winds of 165 miles per hour. The storm had rapidly intensified over the period of time, and then at that particular moment, it chose to hit square on Acapulco. Acapulco has always been known as the jewel of the Pacific. It's been a beautiful place to vacation. Anyway, I had this great opportunity to attend Tianguis, which I'll explain what Tianguis is in the next segment. But just over a week ago, and the destruction that caused by Hurricane Otis is still very much on display. Ongoing cleanup is underway. The evidence and shock of Otis is still in the hearts and minds of the citizens of the place of Acapulco, who, while trying to put it behind them, is quite a task to be able to put on a positive face while there is so much all around to remind them of what must have been a horror show of maximum proportions. Acapulco is big, but it's also very crowded. It's a popular vacation destination full of hotels and high-rises. People have moved there. It's a luxury. For the longest time, the people with the money have built these enormous penthouses, the beautiful places, because the bay is so lovely. I mean, it's just a magic place. But now, the result was mudslides and flooding, windows breaking, walls falling. I mean, like 10-story buildings shed their walls like if it was like skin burning off. Trees uprooted all over the place. Beautiful forest totally knocked down. Power lines going down and leaving 1 million people without electricity, no phones, no internet, no street signs, lights. The streets were undrivable, and the end, claiming the lives of 27 people. During my visit, while motoring from one place to another, it's hard to tell what many buildings were. Hotels, apartment buildings, office buildings, they all bear the scars of 165-mile-an-hour winds that tore through the city with a vengeance, turning once a pristine city known as the jewel of the Pacific into a very sad place. While this might be a story of disaster, I, for one, see it as the story of the phoenix of ancient lore, rising to become another much better jewel of the Pacific. Number of leaders and civilian soldiers of the business and tourism sector, led by Aida Perez, a young, energetic 33-year-old that I don't know where she gets the energy and all the power that she has to lead such a magnificent task. It's a out of this world task to put the place back together. But it's all hands on deck to make the past into a bright future. And you know what? It rejuvenated me by looking at that energy. I mean, have you ever been into a disaster area?
Not a natural disaster area, no. But I am always immensely proud and immensely heartful to see the resilience of those, especially in countries. You know, Mexico is a first world country, of course.
Yeah.
But because I think of some unfair media coverage of Mexico, I think that it gets a bad rap. And so to see people really come together from the top down and from the bottom up to really make their rebuild and like you said, build back stronger and build back better is a very inspiring thing to see.
Yeah, you know, there are disasters all around the world all of the time. Things happen, Europe, Asia, it doesn't matter. One of the things that I noticed was that where in many parts of the world a disaster happens, and the first thing that happens is that they come knocking at the U.S. door for aid. And our reply is always positive, you know? Mexico, with this disaster, turned to its own people, you know? And now, one of the things that I noticed that tourism in Acapulco is at an all-time high, but not from international sources, all from internal sources. They have actually adjusted the pricing. I stayed at a hotel called the Emporio, which at one place must have been a magnificent place. Now there's only one sector actually open, the lobby area and the central sector. The ones to the side, which is it's like a U-shape, like a V-shaped affair, is gigantic. It's gigantic. But they have already restored the common areas, the pool area, the restaurants and all of that. And the wings are still under construction. So from the balcony of my unit, which was on the 11th floor, I could see off to the side how devastating. Now I'm only looking at the face of the building. I can imagine what it's like inside. They're still cleaning. And every day you see people just hauling stuff out of there, you know. So, but they said that they will have it back together by December, which is a very ambitious thing. Because it's not only this one particular hotel. We had an event at a place called Las Brisas, which is another 5-star resort that was destroyed. And now is up and running, I would say 85, 90%, you know. So people are trying, and they're trying very hard. And, you know, we actually need to lend them a hand by us in the travel business to push now for people to go visit Acapulco. I think it's well worth it. It's a great deal. And it's a magnificent experience. More when we come back. Back. While in Acapulco, well, Acapulco has always been known for the cliff divers. And while I was there, we happened to be invited right up to a place that is a restaurant where you can see the cliff divers. And the strange thing for me was the perspective. When I got there, all I saw was a cliff with a gorge and the ocean below, and the ocean comes in, the ocean goes out, the air comes in, it goes out. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm just looking at a couple of hills with the water at the bottom, you know? It doesn't dawn on you until you see the cliff divers go to do their act as to how deep and how steep those climb is to the top of where they dive. And they dive into an area that is only 4 meters deep. It's not that deep, 12 feet.
Very dangerous.
And they 1 meter less, if they miscalculate, they hit the bottom and there's curtains. So it's a very dangerous sport. But, what caught my eye was that there was a family that came to where we were to kind of introduce themselves. And the youngest member of this diving team was the father, 3 sons. The youngest was 13 years old. And he started training to dive at 11. I mean, when I was 11, man, I was rocking my yo-yo, man. I mean, I thought that was this is it, man. Look at that. But these guys are diving from hundreds of feet up in the air. And what really caught my eye was sitting there waiting to be entertained, nice and cozy in the warmth of a few tequilas, was that these people climb it's a walk, far walk.
Yeah, it's like an hour to get there and then 2 seconds to get down.
They have to actually go down into a big ledge, dive into the water, swim across, and then climb this steep mountain there's like 3 levels. The top level is like a platform. And then the rest is just rocks. There's nothing set up or anything. I mean, they go and they climb on the pinnacle of a rock and let go. I mean, the grace with what they do it is like amazing. And then they also stepped it up too a little bit because they wait until it's very, very dark and they turn the lights off. There's the ambience lights around it. They turn the lights off totally. You can't see anything. And this guy goes to the furthest up platform and dives holding 2 torches. And I'm like, you can't see the bottom, man. How the heck? So, and I asked them, why, I mean, do they get paid for this? Is it like a job? Or no, it's an obsession. It's like the bullfighters, they go there because it's the thing that they love to do. And they work basically for tips. I'm sure that the restaurant pays them something, but nobody touches that subject. Nobody opens up about that. So, we made a collection and got some money and whatnot. I have to say that maybe members of the press, which I was a member of, too tight-fisted for my taste.
Cheapskates, huh?
Oh my God! It's like put $1 in there. Give me a break. You're getting the trip for free. You need to open up and be part of the deal. But what I saw was love of what they do. Number one, love of tradition, love of family, and love of country. Now they figured that this is when they're needed the most. So there they are, putting on a great show. And I have to tell you, I applaud them because it really comes from the heart. And I love that. So we'll be right back. right, welcome back to Lifestyle Buzz with your pal Orly at the mighty CRN 24/7 Entertainment. I've been yammering away at my visit to Tianguis, and Tianguis here, Tianguis there, and I have not actually explained what Tianguis is. In the local Mexican language, Tianguis is, let's say, a farmer's market, a swap meet type of a thing, type of a event. In this particular case, it's all for tourism. Every year, they put a tianguis in different places of Mexico. And what it is it's a gigantic gathering of people offering tourism. And for those of you who may not know, Mexico is divided into 31 states plus the capital, which makes it 32 I'm talking like very large pavilions inside this enormous building, okay? And each pavilion holds probably 30 people, maybe more, plus all the displays and all the goodies. I mean, they're very, very elaborate. I mean, some of them are 2 stories. You can go in there, there's a balcony and whatnot. So it's a very elaborate affair, and I happen to be part of it as a member of the press. We had great company reporting on this event. From Argentina, from England, from as far as Australia and South America. I mean, there was people from all over the different media, newspapers, magazines. And I happened to be, I think there was another person from radio, and the fact that now I have published a magazine called Southern Horizons Magazine. So, I was very pleased with the fact that they included me for many factors. Number one was being able to see with my own eyes what other people have just read in the newspaper in the past or see in different media. I was there to see it, to bear witness to what it is a resilient society. And it is very inspirational to be able to do that. Also, it allowed me to make terrific contacts from the standpoint of being able to lend them support, not only by reporting on what I saw, but being able to create market share for them as a travel agent. And I couldn't be pleased for it, more pleased, because it is going to be a terrific endeavor to be able to be part of the recreation of something. I mean, we live in a society where everything is just about made, where everything you want is available in Amazon. I mean, we live in a society that is it's a little bit spoiled. If I am I the right?
No, absolutely. I mean, everything now is available on demand. Any product you want, anything experience you want is available at your fingertips instantaneously, and I think that makes us complacent.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm looking at something that, I mean, from the people who fix your rooms to the people who serve you at the restaurant, everything in Acapulco today are people with a great big smile, being sincere of the fact that you're there to lend a hand. I mean, I don't know how. It's not that I'm being pretentious about it. It's not that I'm trying to pat myself in the back or anything like that. it's just there's a very nice inside feeling of being able to say, I'm going to give it a try to help and recreate something that was wonderful into something that will continue to be very wonderful. Am I?
That's so nice to hear, because I'm as you're telling these stories about Acapulco and rebuilding Acapulco, I'm thinking about Maui right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because Maui, in Kuala Lumpur had those terrible wildfires.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing these terrible stories now, about residents who want to come back, and the land is being purchased by speculators.
Yeah.
And it seems like the people are using this disaster in Lahaina as a reason to kind of change the whole north coast of Maui.
Yeah, they're actually trying to not restore it to their natural beauty and natural surroundings, but they are trying to glom onto something to change it.
They see an economic opportunity
to an unreachable level.
Yeah, they see it as an economic opportunity. Whereas from what you're describing is that people want to, not only bring Acapulco back to where it was, but also make it better, but in a respectful manner.
Oh yeah, no, you can tell from everybody going there that their future is secure as being laborers, as being professionals, as being taxi drivers, as being whatever it is. I see that they're happy with the effects that are happening there, because their future in their country, in their town, in the city that they love is secure. They're not looking to migrate and move somewhere else that they don't know, just because the place is going to be an impossible place to live at. They're doing it because they figure this is home and we're restoring home, So I see a lot of love for the area from the residents and the people that have businesses there, whatnot. So yeah, no, it's a very inspirational situation, and I wish people would go take a time, go vacation there. Let's make it happen. We'll be right back. back again, and no trip can be. Oh. All right, we are back again, and no trip can be complete, no matter where you go, if you don't include food. As a foodie guy, and Mike here is a foodie guy,
Oh yeah.
for us, the gastronomy part is necessary, you know. And I have to say, going over to Acapulco, the trip was going there. The trip was no fun at all. Starting here at the LAX. My God, have you been to the LAX lately, to the Bradley Terminal?
Not for a couple months.
It is impossible to not criticize it. I mean, it's horrendously bad. All the modifications that they did. In order to get to Volaris, which was the airline that I took down there, I had to walk almost 2.5 miles. Tunnels, escalators. I mean, there's an escalator that you go down and down and down, and it's steep, and you're going like, this is no good. And then there's little trams going everywhere. I mean, it's just a mess. But anyway, once there, having to wait in Guadalajara for 6.5 hours was more than I can bear. As a guy who has been in the cockpit for most of his life, that happens to be the best seat in the house for me. So I'm a horrible passenger. I fidget, I get bored, I just want the thing to end. And this trip was misery beyond belief. Just the wait is like, more than I could bear. But so anyway, so by the time I got to Acapulco, I was in a lousy mood because I have been traveling. I have been up since 5 o'clock the previous morning. So by the time I got at noon into Acapulco, I was not a happy camper. So anyway, that afternoon I just took a rest. I didn't go to an event that was happening. But the next day, it was great. In the morning, I had a nice breakfast. And then they took us for lunch at this really, really rustic restaurant. Acapulco is the port area, so fish is the main event. They had these humongous burning, like a fire, and it was smoldering charcoal, and they put these very, very large slabs of sea bass. I mean, from one side, they gave us 2 fillets that were enormous. So they would just pile the stuff on with veggies and whatnot. And it was simple. It had like some kind of a chili paste on top, yeah. But the meat was like succulent. It had the charcoaly flavor mixed with the chili. And it was, oh man, I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
There is nothing like having seafood that was caught literally like an hour before you eat it. Yeah. And also when it's grilled over charcoal, especially close to the beach, because you get the salt in the air from the salt water, which actually seasons the fish and the charcoal, mixed with, I'm sure, chilies that were fresh and indigenous to the area.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely delicious.
Not to mention the margarita.
Of course.
Local limes, okay?
That's
the only thing that,
How do you take yours? Blended, no salts, on the rocks, with salt?
I cannot do blended because I get the
brain freeze.
And I hardly have a brain now, but Yeah, no, rocks, little salt, not too much, and plenty of them. That's the main thing. Okay, yeah. No. I mean, it was a delightful afternoon because, and right next to it, there was a fallen area that was wiped out by the hurricane. So like you're in the middle of construction, debris. There's palapas all over the place. So the fronds were like all over piled up on the beach still, rotting away. And you just kind of look at it and you go, yeah, it blends in with what I'm doing right now, just chilling and really. So if you go there, you need to have an acceptance of the fact of where you are. Have a reality check of yourself and just enjoy the moment and the food. We went to a place where one of the local dishes is pozole.
Oh, I love pozole.
Yeah. But you know what I found really funny is that they serve you a big dish with crackling chicharrones, stuffed jalapenos, wrapped in egg, and fresh tortillas. And where me as not a connoisseur of the local lore, I would just take a nibble of this, and these people, they just put everything in the pozole and eat it like that, and it's like just watching the locals eat the pozole brings your appetite to a high level, man, where you just cannot help it. You have to do the same thing. And it's wonderful. It's a wonderful time. So gastronomy is a wonderful experience. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and man, time flies when you're having fun. One of the things that I wanted to mention, kind of go back to when I was talking about the cliff divers, it reminded me, I don't know why it slipped my mind then, but now there's actually young women doing the dives as well. And that is exciting as all heck because, they are brave. You give me $1 million, no. You would have to just grab me and push me off the cliff. Voluntarily, no. And you're talking about a guy that actually had parachuted and stuff like that, but no, not this thing. Okay. Announcements. As I've been mentioning, Lifestyle Buzz now has its own magazine, not a newsletter for the trade, but a magazine. I had this idea, and I made it a quarterly. publication. It's 22 pages, and it's really well done. The first edition was for Costa Rica, and I promised the Panamanians that I was going to do the second edition for them, which is coming up soon. But the thing is that the magazine has taken off. People that have received it want more and more and more, to the point that starting in July, it's going to be a monthly publication. What can I say? People like it.
Taking over the literary world over here.
Huh?
You're taking over the literary world over here.
That's it. It's going to be look out, travel and leisure. No, it's actually, it's a grassrootsy type of a magazine. It's entertaining. It's information. It talks about everything that we do here, the station, CRN. It is actually, I consider it to be a very complete compilation of what we do. It talks about travel. It talks about the show itself here, and then places abroad. Like the first issue in Costa Rica, it talks about why is it important to respect nature, which is something that Costa Rica does. We protect a lot of our land for conservation. So, if you're going to travel, get a background on where you're going, because a lot of times, if you're not informed, you may end up actually having a bad time. Not a yucky time, let's put it that way. Not a bad time, not a dangerous
time. A suboptimal time.
Yeah, not a very prime time, okay? So get to know where you're going, get to know the reason why the place is attractive to many people, and decide. You're going to go, explore it to your heart's content. That's about it. There might be other news coming in the future. We are expanding. I want to better what we do here at the show. More informative, more guests, more. I don't know. Just better it so people may. I've always wanted for Lifestyle Buzz to be more interactive. You think that's?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to connect to your audience. So
connect with the audience and let the audience participate.
How can our audience reach you?
Well, we are going to either open the. I don't know about opening the mics. The phones, but maybe requesting emails while we're online. I think that would be a good start. Well, hey guys, time to go. All right, have a great time. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon, and God bless. Be good.